Hey, what's up guys? My name is Barry Chong and today we are taking a look at some Quasar science tubes. This is Cine in the 6. So the Quasar science tubes are super popular at the moment, I think because they are super versatile, relatively inexpensive, and put out quite a bit of light. The ones that I have with me right here are the crossfade variety, which allow you to dial the color temperature through a built-in dial on the side from a really warm 2000 Kelvin all the way to a really blue 6000 Kelvin. They come in a variety of different lengths. The most popular, I think, being the 2-foot and the 4-foot variety. They also come in 1-foot, 6-foot, and 8-foot. The tubes are 120, 110 volt base system, which allows you to use a traditional hand squeezer to dim them down, which is super great. The 2-foot tube is a 25 watt tube and the 4-foot tube is a 50 watt tube, so they really draw very little power. The tubes are super lightweight, so you pretty much can rig them anywhere with a bit of paper tape or gaff tape, or you can even zip tie them into all kinds of different places and hide them. If you need to rig the tubes more traditionally, like say into a C-stand, it's easy enough to get a Cardellini or a Mayfer and just clip it around the tube. These definitely are way more durable than your traditional Kino tube. Just make sure that you don't over tighten the clamp because you probably could still crack this. What I like to use is a mount made by Modern Studio Equipment, which is a Kino, they call a Kino bulb holder, I believe. It ends in a baby pin, and at that point you can put it into any grip head. So the tubes are relatively inexpensive. The 2-foot tube will run you about $175 American, and the 4-foot is about $250. So I've gone ahead and killed the 2-foot tube so I can take a color reading just based off one tube. So this is the 4-foot crossfade tube. I have a Sekonic C700 meter here. I've dialed the color dial on the tube all the way to the one end, which should be 6000 Kelvin. I'm gonna take a light reading right now. So we get about 5970. This is the tube also all the way. So that's a tube all the way dialed up, and we get 5825. I dim it down, I get about 6068. So the temperature definitely is shifting as you dim down. If I dim it almost all the way. So at its lowest setting, it's reading about 6134. Now going the other way, I've dialed the tube to the other end of the color dial, which should render a 2000 Kelvin color temperature. Again, the intensity level right now on the dimmer is about sort of midway. I'm getting about 2064 on the color temperature. If I dial this all the way to full intensity, I'm getting about 2074, so not much of a change. And if I go the other way, all the way down, I'm getting about 2040. So definitely less of a color shift as you dim up and down on the 2000 Kelvin scale. So I've gone ahead and dialed all 3 tubes to the far end of the color dial on each tube, which should render a 6000 Kelvin color temperature. Right now I'm getting about 5942. So at quote-unquote 6000 Kelvin color temperature, I'm getting roughly 98.2 on the TLCI with a pretty good color rendering between R1 and R15. So I've gone ahead and dialed all 3 tubes now to the other end of the spectrum, which according to Quasar Science should render a 2000 Kelvin color temperature. I'm currently getting about 2040. Switching over to TLCI, I'm getting about 97.4 overall, with a slight drop in R9 coming in at 87.3. So I've gone ahead and repositioned myself to exactly 3 feet from this 4-foot crossfade tube. The tube is dialed into 2000 Kelvin right now. It's at full intensity. I've gone ahead and calibrated my meter for ISO 800, 24 frames a second. And we get a reading of 5.6 and 4/10. Now if I change the tube to daylight, so we'll go all the way to the other end of the spectrum. So we're now looking at about 6,000 Kelvin. So going to a light reading, again 3-foot distance, we're getting about 8 1/3. So definitely a little bit more output in daylight. Well, there you go, guys. A quick look at the Quasar Science LED tubes. Hopefully you found that video useful. I will post a link down below with more information. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram at barrychung.com. More videos coming soon. Catch you in the next one.